everybody, it's me, Will Hart. As you can tell, we have a different setup today, and that is because I have some great friends here. Well, great. I shouldn't really say that. We're going to be great friends after this. I have some friends that are here. They are fresh in the middle of their U.S. kind of West Coast tour. This is the Christian indie band. Is that how you guys title yourselves? Rivers and Robots. I want to talk about the name. Rivers and Robots. You guys are in for a treat. I found out about these guys about 2 years ago. Actually, well, I heard your music before. I didn't know that, but I found out, met you guys about 2 years ago, and some crazy stuff happened. I'm going to fill you in. Like, subscribe, lay hands on that subscribe button. You like that? It's very Pentecostal. I thought of that in the shower this morning.
Amen.
Just speak in tongues over the bell and prophesy to the subscribe button because we need more subscribers, and we'll go. Hey guys.
Hey.
Awesome. Good to have you guys.
Yeah. It's good to be here.
Welcome. So this is about half of the Rivers and Robots team.
Yes.
Yeah, the older half.
Yeah. So tell us about yourselves. Give us like the quick introduction. Who is Rivers and Robots? What is Rivers and Robots? Why did you name yourself Rivers and Robots?
It's a very good question. I started Rivers and Robots when I was about 18. So I'm 27 now, so kind of 9 years ago. And we both like grew up in church and have been like pastors' kids. And I think for me, it kind of started out of curiosity just from being a worship leader and also living in Manchester. That's like a really big music city, and hearing lots of different artists coming through. And I was just amazed at like the diversity and creativity of expression I was seeing in like the music world, and thinking it's kind of a shame that a lot of our church songs, we sing the same style all the time.
Right.
It makes sense because we're trying to sing corporately and do things for everyone. But I was just curious to find out what would it sound like to do a worship song in a different style of music, and would anyone listen to that, and would it work? And it was kind of just an experiment, and I recorded 2 albums in my bedroom at home, and then met this guy and a few other guys from a charity called the Message Trust in Manchester, and we ended up turning it into a band, and we went from there.
That's awesome.
But, yeah.
So what year was that?
That was started in 2011.
Yeah.
2011.
And then became a band in 2013.
Yeah.
So and you're 6 albums deep right now.
Yeah, 6 albums.
At least that's what I thought. So.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And how did you get involved?
So I met Jonathan eating sandwiches like at the Message Trust, and he showed me this song, and I was like, this is insane. Like, we need to make a band. So I tried to become his drummer. I was like, I'll play drums for you, but he'd already met a better drummer. So then I thought I'll play the guitar then. So I brought a guitar to the practice, and you already found the guitarist as well. So I ended up on the bass. Never played bass before, so bought a bass. I was like, I need to be in this band.
Come on.
So it's good. Yeah, and that was, what was that, 8 years ago, 9 years ago?
Yeah.
I realized I didn't even introduce your names. We have Jonathan
and
Nathan over here.
Yeah.
And there's 2 others that they're hanging out. We might see them in a little bit. They're hanging out off.
Philip and Caleb.
Philip and Caleb. They're amazing. And they got their wife. Not their wife.
No, one of Philip's wife.
Philip's wife. And their amazing little baby out there. Okay, so you guys started the band. You started making music.
Yeah.
And then I want to just share a little bit of a story, because I think the reason why you're actually here is because I got to connect with you. Well, I connected with both of you, but I really connected with you.
It's pretty nuts.
It was super nuts. And I want you guys to talk, but I want to give a little bit of foundation. I'm a preacher, so I go on and on. So I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. And what I want, because whenever I hear a story, I always remember the points that I like, and I forget some of the finer details. So interrupt me, okay? Please interrupt me. And I want, because actually, me and Nathan go back 16 years now,
probably something like that.
And we didn't even know this until 2 years ago.
It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. So how often have you guys played at Open Door? We met at Open Door Festival.
It was Open Skies in Northern Ireland. Yeah.
Open Skies in North. See, I'm so happy you're here. Just correct me. My wife does it all the time. I'm super comfortable with it. Don't worry. Okay, so we met at Open Skies. I was there with Heidi Baker.
Yeah.
She got invited to come and speak at Open Skies, which is a worship festival. Have you guys played it before?
That was the first time.
First time.
Yeah.
So she got an invitation, and I'm Heidi's like little kind of like lackey, right? I'd follow her around. And they gave me a speaking spot in like a tent in a corner just because I think Heidi was like, I'll come, but you got to give Will a spot too.
Yeah,
And so so I was at the conference or the festival, about 5,000 people, and they camp in tents, and they have this huge kind of like circusy type tent.
Yeah.
And really cool setup. People are all around. I'd never been to anything like that, at least put on by the church. And so they had a green room tent connected to like the bigger tent, or you had to walk across. And you guys were playing like middle of the day, I want to say, like 12 o'clock. You had like the
quiet slot.
Yeah. So you guys go on and you're playing in the big tent, and I'm in the smaller tent having a pity party. And this is, I don't know if I've told you. I think I told you the full story when I was on tour in the UK. And
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think you realize what actually happened. I was in the green room tent, just being like having my time with the Lord, just being like, God, this is dumb. Like, I don't even know why I'm here. They didn't even get me like a hotel room. I'm sitting here in this green room. There's no food. The only reason why I'm here is because Heidi's speaking. And, you know, like I just had this little side slot tent thing that they just, you know, did to appease her. And I was having a legitimate pity party. And I'm sitting, the green room was empty. You know, there's like 10, 20 couches in there and all this space. I was one of the only guys in there because all the other big time musicians went home. And I'm sitting there just upset, and I hear this amazing music coming from the tent. And I want to preface it with this. Like, I don't believe in flattery. I think flattery's lying.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I think it's, so when I'm saying this, I'm not lying or embellishing at all. I remember sitting on the couch and hearing you guys play, and no joke, I felt the presence of the Lord fall on me as I'm sitting there in this couch. And the best of the best worshipers were there at that festival. That, like, they really were. Like, my hero, Jason Upton, was there.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but Jason was so important in my life at a time when I think I was 20 when I first heard him.
Yeah.
And just wrecked my life. So Jason's there, and all these big time worshipers are there.
Yeah.
And they've been playing all day long. But when you guys started playing, I literally felt the presence of the Lord drop in the tent. I got up and I ran into, in like the middle of my pity party, I ran into the big tent, and there might have been 100 people in there.
Yeah.
In a tent that holds 5,000. Now, I'm a speaker. Like, one of the worst things you can do is have like a big room. With like even if there's just,
it's a little bit awkward,
isn't it? Like, even if there's like hundreds of people there, if it holds 5,000, it just, I feel like I'm spitting bricks every time I preach. And I remember walking in, and I think maybe both you guys, you just had your arms lifted up and you were worshiping, and I was like, number one, that's one of the skinniest worship leaders I've ever seen. I'm scared, like, if he's gonna break.
I need to go to the gym,
bro. I was like, man, but you guys were worshiping, and I was blown away. And I elbowed a woman next to me, and I was like, who are these guys? Like, I've never heard of them. And she goes, oh, they're rivers and robots. And I was like, I'm sorry, maybe I should.
That's a good accent.
I apologize. I shouldn't do that.
That sounded pretty authentic.
I feel like it did. My grandmother's English.
Oh, nice.
I grew up like going to Guernsey and Jersey.
Cool. Yeah,
they had a house in Guernsey. She goes, they're rivers and robots. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I just entered into worship with you guys. And I think maybe 2-3 songs, and then you were done. And I met you guys on the side of the stage. I remember, you could tell me if I'm wrong, I remember running up and being like, who are you guys? What the heck just happened? You're amazing. You guys carry the presence of God. And I don't know which one of you guys I was speaking with. I
saw you stood at the back, and I'm like, I think I recognize this guy from like years ago, but I wasn't sure if you were the same guy. So I was like, we need to just get a coffee and just talk through some stuff.
I'm a lot fatter than what I was, like, probably.
I wasn't
when
saying
we first
that,
met.
but you know,
but it's true. But, okay, so you saw me coming.
Yeah, I was like, I think I know this guy, like, from a few years ago. So yeah, I don't know if you want to
No, so were you peeking with your eyes closed?
Well, I was just like, there wasn't many people there, and you're at the back.
I was like, yes!
Yeah.
I was loving it.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
No, so I started, I think my first one, like, where are you guys from? You said Manchester.
Yeah.
And I had been to Manchester previously. It was actually, I don't know how long I want to make this story, but I used to travel with Randy Clark. Yeah, I don't know if you ever...
Yeah.
Guy that was used in Toronto.
Yeah.
And we were up in Toronto doing a meeting, and the Holy Spirit fell. We were doing like a side meeting in the side room. The Holy Spirit fell, and people just lined up. And I remember them exiting the building, lining up in like the driveway. And Randy and I spent hours ministering, like all throughout that, like the street or like the driveway. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess the pastor of Zion.
It was
what the name of the
Kingsway Church.
Kingsway Church.
Yeah, church down the road from my home church. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So the pastor from Kingsway was there.
Yeah.
I guess I ministered to him, and he was like, "I want you to come to my church."
Yeah.
And so that was my first ever international gig. Where a pastor actually paid my ticket.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
They were always like, you can come, but you got to make your own way.
Yeah.
And so he flew me out, and I was so scared that like God wouldn't show up if I went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was petrified.
Wow.
And so he was like, "Oh, if you have a personal assistant, you can bring him too."
Yeah.
And so I brought my buddy Jamie Galloway, who we traveled together, and because I was like, Jamie carries God, and I was like, if God doesn't show up, I can blame it on him as well. Like it'd be like 50-50.
Wow.
And so I brought him out, and we ended up at Kingsway
Kingsway,
in the basement, I feel like.
It was a tiny little church hall, maybe
Yeah.
like 30 people or something like that.
I remember about 25, 30. And I've actually told the stories from Kingsway because God did so many amazing things in my life during that time. And so we did this 14 years or 16 years ago now. I think.
My youth pastor just kind of dragged me along to it. Like, we didn't even go to Kingsway. Like, I thought they were all a little bit nutty. So I was like super suspicious. Like, so you were doing like fire tunnels and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I've not seen anything like this before, and I don't really want to get too involved in this.
How old were you?
I was like maybe 11 or 12. I was just like, what the heck is going on? And I was like one of those people who didn't want to go down in the spirit. Yeah. And God just kind of took me down. Wow. But I was like, I don't want to give the people in this room the satisfaction. Wow. That's what was literally what was going on in my heart in that meeting. I thought you were all kind of crazy. So.
Yeah, we are.
Which you kind of are. Yeah. But I'm okay with that now. So, yeah.
So what happened? So you showed up. Were you there for the whole time? I feel like we were there.
I went for a couple of the days. Yeah. My youth leader was really into the Holy Spirit. I mean, my home church is a charismatic church, but we didn't really do the whole Toronto thing.
Right.
So I'm like going through this fire tunnel. My friend was one of the people praying for everybody, and I thought, she wants me to go down, and I don't want to go down just for her. Like, I'm going to prove to her that I won't go down, you know? And
you're 11 or 12 at this point?
Yeah.
This is like the most English 11-year-old ever.
It's very English, yeah. So I felt like I had probably the most powerful encounter with God I've ever had in my life, which is hilarious. I just felt like the weight of his presence just fall on me and just basically push me to the ground. And I'm like literally crawling out of this fire tunnel thinking, what the heck's going on? And then you walked up to me and told me that God was going to send me around the world playing music all over the world. And my brother, who is the same, comes crawling out. And then I think Jamie said you're also going to be influential in Christian music. And he's now like a producer for Christian bands all over the world as well. So we were like both trying not to... get too involved, and God just kind of grabbed us and and marked our lives basically. So
I love the prophetic.
I
love it so much.
And that was like 16 years ago. And it's kind of cool then meeting you at a festival and getting to share the story.
Well, so fast forward. So we figured this out on the side of the stage.
Yeah.
We were like, I remember some blonde kid prayed for me. I was like, that was me.
Yeah,
I'm the blonde kid. And you were like, the two guys came from Toronto, which
Yeah.
We kind of did via the meeting.
Yeah.
We were living in Pennsylvania at the time. And honestly, like that moment that moment changed my life. And it took me out of a really kind of like, I don't want to say like a dark season, but
Yeah.
You guys get it. You guys travel around
Yeah.
and you're doing
Yeah.
like the thing that God has told you to do.
Yeah.
But you might not be always like seeing the fruit that you thought you would see or that you were promised that it would be.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now that I look back at it, I was sitting in one of the largest, worship festivals in Europe or whatever, and even in the middle of it, I'm like having my own pity party. 5 years ago, if you said, Will, you're going to be speaking with Heidi Baker at like one of the largest outdoor worship festivals in Northern Europe, I'd be like, you're crazy. And then I'm in it and I'm not, and like I'm so introspective that I'm losing the focus on what I actually I told God I would do if he took me around the world. And then he just he begins to show me the fruit.
I think there's something like when you're just like sowing seeds in those seasons where you are really passionate and really on fire, and you just sow those seeds, and then God's just really kind sometimes and lets you reap the harvest in that season when you're not feeling very passionate and you're wondering what's going on. It's like, oh man, God's so faithful.
It blew me away. And then I don't want to get into this part, but then the next day, did I tell you what happened the next day to me? With what's his name?
Tony.
Yeah, okay, you remember. I'm sorry. I'm like the worst with names. But Tony came up to me and I prophesied over him 8 years prior that I think he was in Maryland. I said, God's calling you to the Atlanta area and you're going to meet your tribe down there. And he got in his car and lived homeless for 2 months. So he comes running up to me the next day and he's like, Will Hart. And I had no idea who he was. And to be honest, I really didn't like Good Father. I'm sorry, House Fires. Like, and it's not because it's not a good song. It's because like everywhere I went for 3 years, every church, and I would spend like 150, 160 days a year on the road. Somebody would be playing that song in off key, and it just began to chisel away at my soul. But he came up to me and he said. And this was the next day. He said, yeah, like you prophesied over me. I moved to Atlanta, became homeless or lived homeless for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I found these people and we started this thing called House Fire. 6 months later, we wrote Good Father. I've been waiting to tell you this for 8 years. And I don't know, you guys have been traveling now for how long?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
And you're doing it out of obedience, but you never know.
Yeah.
You never know who is sitting in the crowd, who you're impacting.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Cool,
that's how we connected. And I just honestly like that what you guys represented in my life was it pulled me out of like a really, really kind of horrible place that in my own heart.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful. I really am. I'm just so grateful. And so now you guys are traveling around the world.
Yeah.
And talk to me. First of all, are you guys a worship team?
Yeah. Yeah. We say like, it's probably the weirdest name for a worship band, but
well, so here's what I can't put my finger on. Yeah. Like, people love listening to your stuff everywhere I go because I've told this testimony a couple of times, and everybody's like, but like I'll be in Asia, I'll be anywhere, and people know your stuff.
Yeah,
but they listen to it like they would just any music.
Yeah.
But when you sit and listen to you guys, it is like radical worship. It is not, but it's also. Like, where do you guys see yourself falling in there?
Yeah, I think it took us a while to figure it out in some ways, especially like I think the UK is quite defined in like you're either a worship band that sounds like this or you're kind of a Christian band with some Christian lyrics and you play in the venues and that kind of thing. And I think for me it was just trying to write the style of music that came naturally to me, and I kind of knew this isn't going to be like a Sunday morning worship song. And I didn't really know where it would fit. Like my vision for the band was like put some songs on Facebook and let my friends hear it, and then people started emailing us from like Brazil and Chile and saying how much they're loving the music. And I think it seems to be the kind of stuff people want to listen to in the car or like at home and have on in the house, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's fully worship music. Like lyrically, it's very upfront, all about Jesus. And when we kind of play a concert, we do see it as leading worship. We're playing these songs and for a long time it was like really awkward. It's like everyone's like chilling out and vibing, but also like, do I worship? What do I do to this? But yeah, we just see it as worship music that sounds a bit different. But
I think the cool thing as well is like, I think we've tried to box in worship sometimes to say like worship is what you sing on a Sunday, or it's a certain style of music, and like the presence of God only comes in when the pads are doing a certain thing, which is kind of dumb. I mean, that's nice, but like
I like that.
Sorry, that was very English.
No, I love it. Go for it, brother.
But I think the presence of God actually is something like it comes through relationship. Like, so when you spending time with Jesus in a secret place and you have that relationship with him, like what you do is like fragrant, like it carries his presence and like it brings life and fragrance and stuff. And that can be whether you're just a band playing in a club like we do sometimes, and the presence of God just sweeps in, or if you're just a businessman or like a mum or whatever, you know, like just, I think there's something about that intimacy with the Father that like just brings the presence of God, and like that can be any style of music, anything you're doing, you know. And I guess that's kind of what we do. So we just get up there, just completely chill, completely ourselves, and just allow the Lord to move. And yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's very humbling that we see like God moving in people's lives and stuff. But it's great.
yeah.
Come on. So you didn't have, like, I know Nathan had this kind of charismatic experience, which freaks some people out, and I totally understand that. The more I do,
so do I. Like,
ministry.
I mean, we minister in all different denominations. That's just my experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you guys are praying, like the physical presence of God, like enters. I feel enters the room. Have you? When was the first time you noticed that? Like, oh my gosh, people are really being touched by God from the words that I write and the music I play. Like, what did that do?
I think I was on like a real journey with that myself. So I grew up in like a Brethren church, so it was like super traditional.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of hit with a big move of the Spirit around the same time as Toronto, and like I kind of grew up in that early 90s, sort of just seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I think my older brother used to be a worship leader as well, and I used to play in his band, and he was like the kind of guy that would write a set list and play the first song and none of the others, and he would just like go off, and I'd have to try and follow where he was going. But that was kind of my environment for learning how to worship, was just seeing people in the presence of God and like trying to follow where the Spirit's going through that. And so I started leading worship when I was like 17, and like the first time I led was just 3 people in a prayer meeting, and I'm like shaking because I'm so nervous. And like I think even when we started doing the band, like that was our context for playing. So like the first thing we did was like a worship conference. We had a speaker over from IHOP in KC, and we just like opened in worship and then threw a couple of our songs in the middle, and nobody really knew what to do with it. And then we played at like David's Tent, a big festival in the UK. And it's been really open, like you say. Like we've had a chance to play at a huge variety of like different denominations, and I think part of it is like lyrically we just take scripture pretty much. Like I love singing psalms, and I think it's something that's so wide and everyone can relate to, like being on the same page on scripture. And we've had a chance to play in like so many different expressions of church and non-Christians as well. And it's just been really fun. So yeah.
Come on. So I just got back from Brazil, and I was yesterday, and I was about a week ago, I did a service in Sao Paulo, and I do services, all over, and you kind of get into a rhythm. It's like worship, then offering or whatever, and announcements, and then I get up and speak, and I think Corey, you were there, right, Corey? Yeah, Corey was in the room, and there was this band that got up. I thought they were the worship team, so I didn't know. I literally didn't know what was going on. I was actually trying to figure out what I was going to, preach on. Yeah. So I'm sitting in my chair, and this dude with like big orange pants and long hair gets up, like big poofy pants, and there was this teeny little Latina like with a guitar, and I literally internally I was like, ugh, like oh another like like a warm up. I didn't even know what. I actually had no idea what was going on, because there was like a worship team there, and then there's these guys, and And so I'm sitting there, I stay down. Everybody stands up. I stay in my chair and I'm flipping through the word and they start playing. And I had the same stinking experience that I had watching you guys play. You know, it was they were out of the box. They weren't the regular sort of music thing. But the presence of God just fell in the room. Like it was so beautiful. And I remember standing up and just being like, literally being like, oh my God, I see what was on you guys is on these guys. And after they got off, I just ran up and I was like, who are you? You blow my, like, what is happening to me right now? Who are you guys? And they told me they were Ecclesia, blah, blah, blah. I ended up praying for them. And they were like, oh, we know Rivers and Robots. Like, you mentioned, I think even as I was praying for them, I was like, you guys, you have that same thing. They're like, oh, we know them. We love them. Say hi to them. And I started in this last week, I started to kind of look into this genre that maybe it's just because it's probably just because I've started looking at it. You guys have been living in it for a little longer, but it's like, there's so many spirit-filled, like little pockets of these people that are experimenting.
There's a whole bunch of us,
and I feel
we're all
like
buddies as well.
So what Ecclesia said is like, you guys are, and I know you're young, but they were like, you guys are like some of the pioneers in that. How does that make you feel?
It's kind of crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
I had this picture like 4 or 5 years ago of I was just like sitting in a prayer room at the time, and I saw this little like sailboat going out into this big kind of like unknown ocean, and I'm kind of like, I used to do graphic design, so I'm a very like visual thinker. So I saw it like a movie and it like zooms out and all these other boats are coming alongside. And I felt like God said, like, you're going to push into kind of unknown direction and pioneer something, but also there's going to be a lot of people that you meet as you step out that are doing that as well. And you just kind of do it as family. And I didn't really know what that was. I kind of sat with it for a year, and we ended up, when we quit our jobs and went full time, we set up a ministry called Set Sail based on that, which is just based on like using our worship and creativity as a way of telling people about Jesus, and also trying to encourage and equip other artists and creators around us. So we kind of had a bit of an understanding for that, but like literally when we started, we didn't know other people were doing this kind of thing. And like even in the last 3 or 4 years, we've met so many other artists that are all experimenting, all being super creative, and like full on fiery worshipers. And like, it just feels like something God's doing all over the place. Like,
with Ecclesia. I was like Ecclesia, and they corrected me, and I just can't get it out of my head. With Ecclesia, I'd been listening to their music for 6 months. I didn't even know it. My daughter was like, "Dad, put this song on, Baptized in Fire," and so we would like rock out on the way to school.
It's insane, isn't it?
So stinking good. Like so stinking good. And it's this beautiful balance of worship, like contemporary. And I mean, you guys. Is it weird that you're about to touch your 30s? That you guys are, you're pioneering. You're some of the pioneers in this. And what I saw, I kind of took a deep dive into your Instagram yesterday, which there's a lot there, man.
There is a lot.
I was on the plane, so it took a little time to load it up. But you're insanely gifted. You're with graphic design. Like I was blown away. You've been doing it for a long time. But at least with like Ecclesia, I don't know, whatever. They seem to marry all the arts. When I got saved, like the only artsy things were the prophetic groups, and it was, you know, like some beautiful hearted lady or man, you know, in their 60s, like drawing, you know, a world with like fire around it, and that was like arts in the Spirit-filled church. And it seems like what you guys are doing, what these guys are doing, is the next level, the next iteration.
I think I just kind of like I worked as a graphic designer before I did music, basically. So I've always just been passionate about creative stuff, and even since I was like 17, I just like prayed and committed that to God and said, like, I know that you've made me to be creative, and I want to use that in a way that glorifies you, and whatever that is. Like I got to do my design work for Christian charities and like designing things that were literally taking schools bands and preaching the gospel with that, and then we get to do it for our music as well. But I think it's just like it's part of the expression of this kind of new movement, if it was a movement, of just there's a lot of young people coming up that like are willing to push the creative side of things and use that as worship, and that it's not just the songs we sing, but it's the visuals that we create, and it's everything that we pour into it can be done as worship. And so
I think I used to think that worship. There's this phrase Matt Redman used to talk about. Worship leaders, the best worship leader is an invisible worship leader, because it's all about Jesus.
Right.
And I grew up with that and love that, and I still really believe in that. But I kind of accidentally translated it as that means I have to not play my guitar too well, even though I could play the guitar, and it means that I don't take the limelight kind of thing, which is a good heart to have. But then I started reading about the lady who got the alabaster jar full of perfume that cost like £20,000 or whatever it was, incredibly extravagant, and just smashed it on the feet of Jesus. And it got me thinking about, what does it look like to make something extravagant art-wise and like do all the production and all the craziness, and then just throw that at the feet of Jesus? And actually, I think that that's the key thing. Rather than being invisible, it's more about where are we putting our worship towards? Like, is this going on the feet of Jesus, or is this going to puff up my ego or something?
Right.
And when I had that switch in my brain, I was like, man, we can be as creative as we want to be. We can be as extravagant as we want to be, because he's worthy of that. And then as a result, like the aroma of that, the fragrance, like I'm talking a lot about fragrances this morning. I'm not that into flowers.
I'm good.
I think I actually forgot to put some deodorant on this morning as well.
I noticed when I hugged you.
I'm very sorry about that. But it's that kind of like, that's the after effect of like, we're ministering to the Father, we're ministering to Jesus, and then the after effect is people get saved and people experience the presence of God and they get healed and all sorts of things just from that worship, you know.
Come on.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's cool.
So walk me through your writing process. Because like for me, I mean, there's a ton of songs that I love, but the one that I constantly play over and over and over and over again is... You don't know?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I don't know why I should. I was testing your prophetic. No, Shepherd of My Soul, I think is probably, I'm super biased. I think it was the song that I was listening to when you guys
it could
were,
be.
when I first heard you.
Yeah.
But I love that. I mean, I just looked on YouTube today. It's over 5 million views on YouTube. And I know Spotify is equally big.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty cool feeling to...
It's crazy.
Like 5 million people...
That's a lot
are
of
singing along to your heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's that process? Because I've talked to a lot of different artists, and each one has a process on how they do it. How do you guys write? Like Shepherd of My Soul, like where did that come out of?
Yeah. Shepherd of My Soul actually started as a Christmas song.
I love it.
But I tend to start with the music first. So I've just always loved music production and the whole kind of creative side of it. So usually I'd start with a chord progression or drum beat and kind of craft the whole instrumental and then have an idea of a melody. I think that's the thing I'm most drawn to in music is like the melody side. So, and then I write lyrics based on like how the track feels and think, okay, it's this kind of song. The lyrics tend to be like the last part of it. But Shepherd of My Soul was like, I was rewriting is that We Three Kings, I think it is, like an old hymn, and like putting a totally different tune to it. And then I came up with this extra part that I really liked and just sung it into my phone. And then I was writing the first part of the song as a different track. And then I think we were just in rehearsal once and realized like, oh, these two parts just go together. And I changed all the Christmas lyrics and made it fit with the first part. And
is it based off that song? Is that why everybody loves it? It's just like,
maybe.
It strikes that Christmas
Something
feeling
like
in their heart.
And then we just kept like adding more sections.
Yeah.
Like, we were in a rehearsal and we were like, maybe we could put this part in as well. Like maybe
we
add
felt
this
like
part.
maybe we went a bit too far. Like we thought people aren't going to like this. And
Really?
Yeah. We had like, I don't know, there's like 10 different instrumental sections to it. And we were like, is this too much?
Maybe this is a bit too much.
It ended up being like almost listen to songs.
I freaking love it because like what is it, Through Valleys and oh man, I'm gonna butcher it. I don't know.
Through Valleys of Shadow of Death, I'm Not Afraid.
I don't know. I will weep and listen to that. It's so amazing. What's your favorite song that you guys have written? Like individually, I want to ask each one of you. Like you must have a favorite. I have a favorite child. Okay,
you're not allowed to say that.
I totally am allowed to say that. It's true.
Just getting that in before you
I
use
think
the
I think
child
my
composed.
favorite's probably White as Snow, but I think it's just for because we were when we sung that, we were in a prison in the Philippines and singing that over all these like very scary looking prisoners and then leading them to Jesus straight after that. So I think for me that's probably my favorite, probably just for the memories attached to it, you know. Yeah,
White as Snow.
White as Snow.
Okay, what about you?
It changes like every couple of weeks. I think probably my current favorite is Know You More off the new album.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hidden away one. It's like second to last track, so
Okay.
a lot of people don't get that far.
Okay, you don't have to sing, but give me the essence of it, and why is it your favorite?
So it's kind of, I think just I really love the lyrical theme behind it, and again, it's one of those that has these like different sections, and I don't think any of it's repeated. It just goes like A, B, C, D, E. And yeah, it's just exploring that whole thing of like wanting to know like the infinite like knowledge of God and realizing like we can go as far as we can in any direction and still never fully figure out who God is, and like he's completely like I just love that picture of a completely endless ocean of like the knowledge of God and knowing that we get to discover that forever and we'll never reach the end of it. And yeah, it's just kind of like a prayer song of like I want to know you more is like the main line.
When I listen to your stuff, I feel like you guys like kind of touch on theology. Is or am I just making that up?
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, have you dug deep into theology, and how important is that in what you write?
Yeah, it's important.
Or do you
sure.
check it? Are you like, I don't know if this is biblically accurate?
Yeah, I think like the very first album I did, it was a lot more like personal things, and I was writing more like, I guess, poetic lyrics that would make sense to me, but probably not much to anyone else.
Right.
And then I'm part of a house of prayer as well in Manchester, and we have this like worship in the Word. So we like just open the Bible and sing through scriptures, and I think that's like a lot of our songs are written from those places, like choruses straight from singing out of scripture. And like the reason I want to write really is just to sing about the person of Jesus and like for people to grow him more and know more about him so they can love him more. And yeah, I just try and sing from things I feel God's speaking to me through scripture and just directly about attributes of God. And like if there can be just one line in a song that someone's like, oh, I've never thought about that before, then that means a lot. So
Yeah,
that's kind of like,
we love those like old classic guys like Tozer and
Yes.
Andrew Murray and
Yeah.
all those kind of. I mainly read books by people who've passed away.
You guys can tell that it's not just surfacey stuff.
Yeah.
There is a depth into what you're writing.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a generation that you guys have tapped into that has not really had that a lot in worship. They've had a lot of the same old.
Yeah.
It's all
Right.
wonderful. Actually, we're kind of sitting
It
in
is
like
good.
worship mecca.
right.
And it's beautiful.
Here in
Yeah.
the city.
Yeah, we're definitely not against. any
No.
of that. Yeah.
I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's not one or the other, but I can see that you guys are really hitting the hearts of something. I think there's a generation that's looking for it, a depth. I think United Pursuit kind of started with that.
Yeah.
And you can see that you guys have really gone deep into not just the words of worship, but you are singing the scriptures and you're singing truths, and it is deep. I dig it. I dig it. I get really introspective listening to music. Okay, so are you guys married?
No.
Both single.
Single?
Yeah.
Pringles.
Looking to mingle? No? A little bit? No. Okay.
Awkward question.
It's okay. Welcome to my podcast. One of you has to cry before we leave. That's just so you know. The second, how do you guys resolve issues as you're traveling? I've actually traveled with a worship team over a couple of summers, and it's intense. Like it's legit intense.
Yeah.
How do you guys resolve that? What do you do like when you fight?
I think we're like very open. Like I have had to do a lot of that because I'm like full on introvert. So and I process everything internally. So I can be like really annoyed about something and never say it because I just feel like everyone should know.
So do I like really annoy you?
No, you
Okay.
don't.
Just hang around with me a little bit longer.
Yeah, but like I just realized with Journey and Longer, like just say the things that are frustrating and like have honest conversations with each other, and we pray together. And
I process everything externally,
Yeah.
so it's been a challenge
taught me
the
a
other
lot.
way. I think just grace for each other. Like, but we don't travel too long because I think we drive each other insane. We only travel for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then we're back at home churches. And,
Great.
Yeah.
I have a 2-week travel on but that's because I have a wife and kids.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm going to ask a question. You don't have to answer this. I'm just interested.
Yeah.
Financially, how are you guys supporting yourself?
Yeah.
Because I've had to deal with that, where it's like we have to do shows,
Yeah.
or we have to play, but you have gas, and you have the van, and you have teams, and you have mouths to feed. I just saw a little baby out there. They have a mouth to feed. How do you guys do that?
Yeah.
So we're
Is that
basically,
okay?
of course,
Yeah.
we the set sail ministry I mentioned earlier. That's basically like we all live as missionaries. So we basically use all of the money that the band makes through like album sales and merch and streaming, concert tickets, all of that, and that goes into like the projects that we do. So that pays for the tours and all of the kind of gear we need and all the stuff on the road. And then personally, we all just raise support as missionaries. So people give to our set sail ministry to just help us to do what we do. And sustain us to be able to do it full time, and then all the money is just used for the project itself. And
we were kind of intentional about that because we didn't want money to be a factor for the kind of songs we're writing and the kind of things we want to do. So we just said, right, so if we ever write a big song, great, we'll be able to do more ministry with that, it's kind of nice. It means we also have a prayer team around us of all the guys that do support us. So
Come on,
it's pretty sweet.
Now, did you learn this model from somebody else, or was this something that you were just like, no, this is what we want to do?
Kind of yes and no. So I was working for a charity before that was a missions organization. I had to raise support and do that kind of stuff. And then we kind of felt it was right to go full time, and felt like God was leading us into that. And at the same time, we were talking to a lot of record labels, and we have a friend of ours who's like a ministry business advisor kind of thing. And he was basically, we met with him to help us sign a record deal. And he was like, I'll fly you out to Nashville. We'll meet all these top label guys and we'll like get you the best deal that we can. The more you started talking about it, like the less excited I got. And he just kind of looked at me and he was like, you don't want a record deal, do you? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, I think you need to start a ministry. Like that seems to be why you're in it. And, so we just completely flipped the conversation into let's sign a record deal into let's start a missions organization.
Because at the end of the day, you kind of like, you could be a famous band, but like if you're not having an impact, like and seeing people come to know Jesus, like what's the point?
Right.
Like, and like why would you like leave your home for 3 weeks and travel around and like leave kids behind and stuff? It'd be kind of a bit, I don't know, egotistical. It's like that's not really what I signed up for when I followed Jesus, was to become some famous person. Like it's not really what we're in it for. If that happens, like whatever, But if we stop having an impact, we should just pack up what we're doing and go do something else. I think. Yeah.
Okay, what do you guys do for fun?
I play a lot of games.
Like what games?
I have like a Nintendo Switch I always bring on tour. So
okay, what's your game of choice right now?
Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Oh my gosh, everybody says that's amazing. You play that, man? No, Corey? No.
And Mario Kart. That's like
your Mario
Kart
challenge.
Yeah.
If you don't like Mario Kart, just get out of this podcast. We love it.
Yeah.
We just played it. We were at my house playing it.
Nice.
So video games. What else?
I've started doing BBC Good Food. Like started cooking a bit.
Yeah.
There's a website, BBC Good Food, and you can just go through the recipes and like I quite enjoy doing that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. I'm a bit skinny, but hopefully we'll sort that
out.
out.
Well, I got something for you guys. I was going to give it to you at the end, but I have some. I don't know why I only brought one, but this is my little.
The bee farm. I've heard about this.
Have you heard about this? Are you stalking me online?
I follow you on Instagram. I saw you in your bee outfit.
You need to follow me.
I don't think I do. I will do that.
Please, you have to. Actually, if they want to follow you.
Yeah. The band is just Rivers and Robots, all one word.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about individually? It took me a little while to find yours.
Yeah. So mine's J Ogden UK, which everyone thinks is like Jogdanook. And I changed it. My name wasn't available on Instagram because there's an NFL player called Jonathan Ogden.
Oh, really?
And like all of the usernames are gone. So I had this weird one called Ogvidius and nobody knew what it was. And I was like, I'll change it to J Ogden because that looks like my name.
Right.
And as soon as I changed it, everyone was like, well, who's Jogdanook? And I was like, no.
But
yeah, that's
so mine's just Nathan Sterling. Like I
He's
got the actual name. Yeah.
He was available.
Wow. Okay, so you guys can follow them. You can follow what they're doing around the world. Okay, you're finishing up your U.S. tour. This will by the time this gets out, it'll be over.
Yeah.
What's coming up for you? Here, by the way, you guys can
Oh, great.
vocal honey.
We're going to
drizzle that
Brazil.
on something.
We're going to Brazil in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's insane. It just happened. Yeah, so
Yeah.
tickets are on sale soon. But I guess when this comes out,
They will be.
been
I don't
to
know when it's
Brazil.
coming. This is you guys are going to headline our one of our second season. I
Oh,
think
cool.
you're the second episode of our second season.
Sweet.
Okay.
So I don't know if I should be saying that, on here. But okay, so you'll have been to Brazil. How was Brazil? No, I'm just kidding.
It was great.
Wasn't it so amazing?
Yeah.
So Brazilian.
Really sunny.
I've been to Brazil over 55 times.
Wow.
In
Yeah.
20 years,
So
it is
cool.
one of my favorite nations on the planet.
Yeah.
and
That's awesome.
you guys are gonna absolutely love it. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get ready because Brazilians love like Instagram. So get your Insta game up because it'll explode. They're some of the most passionate, Jesus loving. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've never been to Brazil?
Never been.
No.
It is
No.
intense. It is very intense. They know how to worship Jesus in Brazil.
Wow.
They're gonna love you guys. Any projects that are coming up? Anything you got
Yeah.
any secret albums?
Um,
Any new songs?
We're finishing up this tour, then in Brazil, and then we have a couple of things in Europe, possibly Asia in summer. We're doing some missions work over there, and then I think the second half of this year we're going to start writing and work towards another album. So
Cool.
Yeah.
that's the
You
plan.
got a couple of band members. What do you know what
Yeah.
your new album's gonna be called? Can you
No,
talk?
literally like haven't even written any songs yet. So
You haven't written anything.
I mean, I have like voice memos of bits of ideas, but
Yeah.
I'll kind of have to scoop them into an album at some point.
Do you do any writing, or you just?
I do some of the writing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So write some of the Rivers and Robots songs, and got a few on my phone that I'm kind of sitting on at the moment for
Yeah.
myself. So yeah,
Do you know when you hit like a song, you're like, oh man, people are gonna stink at me. Love this. Do you have that moment?
Some of them take like 2 years of like refining it, and then some of my favorites have been written in like an hour or two, and I
Yeah.
just write it. And I'm like, I know when it's good because I want to listen to it all the time. And people always say like, it's so weird if you listen to your own music. And I'm like, why wouldn't I listen to it? Like
At night, I
if
put
didn't
on my
wanna-
own messages and I fall asleep to them. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. That'd be super creepy.
Yeah, but like I write a song that I want to listen to all the time, and if I don't,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't put it on an album. So
Is the genre indie?
yeah, it's like I never explained the name as well. So like
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I've just forgot to do that. So Rivers and Robots is like trying to mix acoustic folk type music, which is like the Rivers side, with electronic music, which is the robot side. So everything is like
That makes sense now.
on some spectrum of acoustic to electronic music. And we could just kind of call it indie worship because it's easier to explain.
Indie worship.
Yeah.
I love it. Whatever it is, it's spectacular.
Thank you.
And I'm super, super honored that you guys have come in here, hang out. I know that you're on your way. You're literally just here for a little bit, and then you take off to play a show in Sacramento tonight.
Yeah.
But like honestly, guys, I'm so encouraged by you. Just the fact that I get to, I don't know, I just have like a little hook into you guys from afar, and just am cheering you on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I've told the world about you guys. I really have. Like, actually, there was a season right after we met, and I was like, oh my God, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a word that I took around the globe.
Yeah.
I'm sure people called you. You said
Yeah,
people
they
called you.
did.
You're like,
People
they're
were
talking about,
messaging
I
me.
was talking about
But,
you.
yeah, no, honestly, though, I really appreciated the gift that you carry because, like, when you're in a position where you're gonna leave everything behind and go do this, like, knowing that the Lord's already spoken and told you that means you have more confidence, you know. Because literally leaving an 18K job for nothing is a very scary decision when you don't know if God's saying yes or no, but I knew that God had already spoken it. So, so thank you for the word. Mate. And I was just some kid and you probably forgot all about it.
I was just a kid. I was 21, maybe? I was just a kid. I had no idea what I was doing. It was my first international thing.
But there you go.
I want to get your guys in here.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of them standing out there. Let me just, you guys just talk amongst yourselves for a second.
All right.
Can you guys come on in if we have people? No? Maybe? A little bit?
Maybe they left.
Maybe they left. I heard a baby. Let me go look.
There was a pizza place nearby, so.
They left.
Oh.
They were completely amused
Sorry about that.
with our green rooms green room.
Yeah.
Just out there.
Sorry, guys.
I hope we can find them.
I was gonna bring them on. Listen, I don't want to put you in a difficult place. Please feel free to say no. I will edit this out easily.
Oh, here they are.
Are they here?
Here they are.
Hey,
You guys come in.
what's up? Can I?
Oh,
I'm
grab
gonna go
them.
run out and tell them to come on in. If that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Mention about your website, all that stuff,
Okay.
and your merch. What do you have? What do you have to sell? Just
All right.
yeah.
Rivers and Robots are taking over.
Yeah, so we have a website, riversandrobots.com. We have a YouTube channel, all the social media things. We have CDs, we have vinyl, we have t-shirts.
We did have hats, but they've sold out.
This feels like some kind of online auction happening right now. Call now on this number.
So you just did it that fast.
We did it.
It was dead air. They're coming in. I saw this little number here.
Yes, Odelia.
Odelia, you have
Yeah.
it. It's got a name.
Oh, the guitar. I thought you meant.
No, I mean, is that? Yeah. Come on here.
This is
Let me.
oh,
Odelia.
that's
We have a
Odelia, not the
little
guitar.
team mascot named Odelia. Listen, I saw this guitar. You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
But can I ask? Would you like to play
We can
something
do it.
here? Can
I
we
think
do
we
like a
can.
little tiny desk NPR
Yeah, let's do it.
style? What do you think?
Let's grab it. So this is we're on tour with a guy called Taylor Armstrong. He's another one of our
Yeah, just come on in, guys. Come on over. It's super chill.
yeah. So this is Taylor's Taylor.
Hey, Odelia. Oh my gosh, she is so cute. Hi.
You want to tell
What's your name?
Real about
Come here.
talk about
Boom. Talk into this. How old are you? Yeah.
stage fright?
I like your jacket. It's really cool. It's Hello Kitty. There you go.
Make it does that
Yep.
make noise.
It does make a noise.
Yeah, it's making noise.
Okay, and this is Dad. Dad, come on in here. Dad, what do you do here?
Dad does guitar.
Dad does guitar. And you're an MK travel.
I'm an NK, PK,
PK, all the
every
Ks.
case.
Do you? Because we're a missions movement, right?
Yeah.
Do you have that like non-nation thing? What is it called?
Yeah,
What's the term they put on it?
I have no idea. But you get this identity crisis when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I mean, it's really great. I mean, you got like the upside. Like this kid's gonna have identity crisis. She's half German, half Japanese Canadian, living in Britain. She's gonna talk
Okay.
British English, so it's gonna
Yes.
be crazy. Baby, you're not. I don't think you're. supposed
She's
to touch
stunning,
that.
by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. She's
So-
she's our girl.
So you play guitar,
Yes.
and you got a lady friend here with you, I think.
Yeah, so my wife.
Why don't she come on? Why don't you guys just come on in? It's okay. We're just come on in and say hi. Come on in too, man. Yeah, just introduce yourselves. Here, you guys can just you stay right there. You can just
Talking to my girl.
yeah, just talk into it. What's your name?
Hello, Eileen.
Hey, Eileen. And you're from Germany,
Yes, I'm from Germany.
and you decided to marry this guy right here.
Oh yes, and I do it.
So, do you play any instruments, or you just?
I do play the piano, but just at home or
Yeah.
at church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But
how?
she does on the road. She does the merch management, and then she does photography for all the tours. So
Come on, speak into
Oh, sorry.
this. No, you're good. You're
she does
good.
all the merch management,
Yeah.
and she does the photography for the tour. So
It's awesome. I've seen it. I was
there.
looking at your stuff at the Instagram
Thank
yesterday.
you.
So talented.
Thank
And come
you.
on, in back. You- What's your name?
So I'm Caleb, and I play drums in a band.
Yeah. Here
Yeah.
You go, Caleb.
Oh,
can,
thank
you can
you.
move it. Don't worry.
Thank
you
you.
play drums?
Yes, sir.
You know that I have a drum label named after me.
No way.
I do.
way.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Fun fact.
That's so cool.
do you play drums?
I don't. I do. So I used to be in hardcore bands. I had 2 hardcore bands when I was growing up. So I play guitar. I play bass. I can play a little bit of the bagpipes.
Yes,
I'm a killer
always.
didgeridoo player. Like
Yeah.
I can own it. And fun known fact. I don't know if we should send this out to the world, but I was in like a prophetic dance and arts troupe for about like. Exactly. I felt the same way. I was in prophetic dance and arts troupe for like 6 months right after I got saved. And
way.
yeah, they're great. They're still around. Eagle and Dove. You can look them up. Gloucester, Massachusetts. Eagle and Dove.
Nice.
Yeah, man, we'll
So
do.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
It was a season. So you play drums. The drum
Yes, sir.
kit that I was talking about was their Pursuit drums. I think they're out of Texas. A dude came to my conference. I think I prophesied over him something, and he named his drums after the conference. Were you there, Corey? Yeah, Pursuit Drums.
Wow.
I don't know if they're any
way.
good, but you can look them up.
That's so cool.
Do you get that quite often where people come to you like, you prophesied to me, I'm going to give you this now?
Not as much as I'd like. So, like, anybody watching, if I've ever given you a word or you've listened to me preach, I love things, free things. So give me your free things,
There you go.
and I will enjoy them.
His mailbox is right here. Just so you know.
Just
It's right here.
ship it to this address. And I did give you guys as a band. You can squabble over it. I don't know, but I have some beehives, so that's fresh from Reading.
Wow.
I squeezed each bee individually.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
That stuff's you can't get it anywhere.
That's
Yeah.
I
amazing.
only have like a couple gallons left, so
Really, this is ours.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
gonna be great.
That's so good.
Oh,
She's
do you-
excited.
Do you like honey?
It's gonna be great. We'll just
You
leave
like
it right here.
It's amazing.
So,
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
dude, super great for you guys coming in. Thank you for
No.
swinging in. Thanks
No.
for
Thank you.
coming and saying hi.
Thank you for having us. Really.
Oh, I love it.
Amazing.
Well, me and this guy go way back, and so it's an honor. It's really a privilege. I love what you guys are doing. I really do, and I think it's really cool that you're here and that you take some time. But how are you doing over there?
Almost there.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do a little, just a little song, maybe.
All right.
Yeah?
There's no pressure, and what I'll do is I'll send this to you guys before we put it out. And if you guys don't like the way it sounds or anything,
Yeah.
I understand that. We will. You guys just say no, and we won't, and we'll just end the podcast now.
So I cling to the Lamb who has purchased me with his own blood. And I stand in his righteousness, washed by his mercy and love. Though I fail 1,000 times, Lord, your mercies are new every morning. So wash my heart clean, let my spirit be steadfast and strong. And all my sins like scarlet will be white as snow, and though they're red like crimson, they will be as wool. And all my sins like scarlet will be white as snow, and though they're red like crimson, they will be as wool. A broken and contrite heart you do not despise. So wash over me, clean my heart, clean my mind, clean my eyes. And all my sins like scarlet will be white as snow, and though they're red like crimson, they will be as wool. And all my sins like scarlet will be white as snow, and though they're red like crimson, they will be as wool. Ooh.
Oh,
Sweet.
That's amazing. I have not heard that song.
Oh, cool. Oldie but goodie.
Of course. Thanks for having us, man.
Come on, let me pull up a chair real quick. You guys stay right there.
All right.
Yep.
Wow.
That was so good. Do you want me to take that?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Wow.
Sweet.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, white as snow. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For reals. Thank you so much. It's such a privilege and an honor to have you guys in here. I know that what God is doing with you guys is just going to continue to grow. I think the heart of purity, the heart that you have for missions. I mean, at Iris, I mean, that's all that we are. And I think you said the word musicianary. I love that. I love that so much. And I think it really speaks to the purity of your heart for Jesus, for the message of the gospel getting out to the poor, the sick, the needy, and the broken. If there's anything we can ever do to help you guys, please let us know.
Yeah.
I'm just so encouraged by watching you guys. So
Thank you, man.
listen, this is Rivers and Robots. These guys are amazing. Go to their Instagram, go to their YouTube channel, follow them. I listen to these guys on Spotify. Just follow them and buy their merch. As you heard today, they're not doing this for ticket sales. They're living by faith, which I love, and they're going after Jesus with all of their heart. So go and support them. Like, just buy their stuff. It's amazing. It's not even like buy their stuff. Just no, like I've seen it. Your merch is amazing. Buy their albums. Support these guys as they go around the world, hungry for Jesus, hungry for the gospel.
Yeah.
And follow them. Go see them live in person. I just got to see them live, and it blew my mind. So love you guys. Thank you, and we'll see you guys. Maybe not you guys. We'll see you guys on the next Green Room. Like, subscribe, lay hands on that subscribe button. Corey hates that line. Hit that bell thingy. I think there's a bell. You can hit that bell and you can follow us. If you like this podcast, make sure you just send it, share it to somebody. This is all free. We do this because we love you guys. And share it with somebody else. And I will catch you on the next Iris Global Green Room. Love you guys.
Sweet.
Cool.
Thank
That
you.
was fun.
Thank you.
Were you guys okay with it?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.